Before you buy your first multifamily property, watch this. I'm going to give you 5 rookie mistakes that could cost beginners $25,000 to $100,000 in one deal. If you were to make just one of these mistakes, the property could own you. Over my span of investing, 24, 25 years of buying, refinancing, rehabbing, and coaching students from the East Coast to the West Coast, I made all of these mistakes so that you don't have to. In fact, I wrote the book, Commercial Real Estate Investing for Beginners. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down for you the 5 most lethal mistakes that beginners most likely will make. But more importantly, I'm going to share with you how to avoid each one. And the end result, I promise you, the end result will be you will be light years ahead of your competition. If you would like to get a free copy of my book, Commercial Real Estate for Beginners, no strings attached. Just hit the download button and get at it. All right, everyone, let's get started with the 5 rookie mistakes that you should never make. Let's jump right into it. Mistake number 1 will guarantee, I say guarantee, that you will never buy a deal. Okay? Mistake number 1 is analysis paralysis. I once knew an engineer, and I was a former engineer. I knew a whole bunch of them. This guy had 400 pages of notes on deals that he analyzed. 400 pages. He knew every metric, every rent level, all the trends. He knew everything. Guess how many properties that he owned? 0. He was terrified of making a mistake. So he was stuck in analysis paralysis. I'm sure some of you can understand this. Here is the vicious circle that you can get yourself stuck in. Okay? Analysis paralysis, okay, leads to you want to study more, right? Now, when you study more, guess what happens? You have so much knowledge that there's fear that creeps in. When the fear creeps in, guess what happens? You don't make any offers. So guess what? You get stuck back into analysis paralysis. This is the vicious circle of overthinkers. But we have a solution, and the solution is to start small. That's right. You don't need a 50 to 100 unit property to begin with. Start with a 5 unit, start with a 12 unit, like many of our students do, okay? Because smaller deals equal smaller dollars equal smaller mistakes. Got it? Okay, so the learning by actually doing is the best way to get started, and to me, it's the fastest way eventually. All right, that's mistake number 1. Don't make that mistake. Got questions? Simply text the word Peter to 833-942-4516 and we'll help you. Here is mistake number 2. You can literally make a $100,000 mistake by not paying attention here. So listen up here. Mistake number 2 is buying on Proforma, not actuals. What is a Proforma? A Proforma is given to you when you want to buy an income property. You're going to request, what is the income? What are the expenses? You know, you're going to ask this from the agent or from the seller. They will give you documentation, right? If their documentation has the word Proforma anywhere in the documentation, or it has the word projected anywhere in the documentation, or it says scheduled anywhere in the documentation, these are not real numbers, okay? These are not what we call the actuals. What you need from them is a T12. A T12 is a trailing 12. It's a trailing 12 months of income and expenses. For example, if we are in, let's say, November, you want to get November of this year all the way back from November of last year, a trailing 12 months of income and expenses. Plus, you need to get a rent roll. A rent roll is a schedule of all the tenants that are there and how much they're paying. You need to get these 2 so you don't fall into this trap. Let me show you what the trap is. Let's say we have a deal that you're looking at, you got from the seller or from an agent, and it says the rents are $1,000 a month on this 10-unit property, okay? So $1,000 per month over 10 units, that's $10,000 per month times 12 months, that's $120,000 a year. I'm going to take 40% of my income as expenses. I'm left with an NOI of $72,000 a year. If I am in a 6 cap rate market, I'm going to divide 6% into 72,000. The property is worth 1.2 million. Okay, this is what's on the brochure. Okay, on the agent brochure, other sellers, makeup. Okay, sellers projected rental income. Now, when you request the T12 in a rent roll, you may discover that, the rents are not $1,000. They're actually $900. It's a $100 difference. Look how huge a difference this is. Okay, so if they're $900, that's $108,000 per year. I'm going to subtract 40% expenses. That leaves me with an NOI of $65,000. Okay, at a 6 cap, divide that into 65,000. That means the property is worth $1,083,000. Okay, much less than what the brochure said it'd be worth $1.2 million if this was accurate. That's a $116,000 difference or overpayment that you would have made if you didn't ask for the T12. And that's only from a $100 difference between the actual rent and the Proforma rent. Got it? That's how important that is, not to buy on Proforma. All right, let's go to mistake number 3. Here we are with mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is ignoring economic vacancy. This is a bit technical, but this is not taught in any book, but it is so important and what beginners usually miss. Let me show you. All right, so let's say we have a 10-unit apartment building is 100% occupied, okay? So this is the 10-unit building. You can see we have 10 tenants here, okay? And the rent roll, okay, the rent roll shows you have all tenants are filled with tenants, okay? But what if 2 tenants haven't paid in 3 months, okay? So you only have 8 people paying, right, out of the 10 people. This means you're collecting only 80% of the rents. This is what we call economic vacancy, okay? It's a cash flow killer and it is a red flag, right? Red flag. Stop right here when the rent roll and the collection do not match each other. Got it? So you have to get a rent roll and you have to look at what was actually collected. So again, like in mistake number 2, you need to get a rent roll and you also need to get a T12 to verify all of this, right? Because this red flag could signal that these 2 people haven't paid rent in 3 months. You're probably headed for eviction at your cost, okay, in your time, but it also could show that there's management problems or market problems in that area. Got it? All right, so that's mistake number 3. Let's go on to number 4. Every successful commercial real estate investor has a mentor. Get mentored by me and my team by applying to be our next protege. Click the top corner. Here we are with mistake number 4. Now, mistake number 4 can easily be made because you don't have the experience, you don't own a lot of property. Okay, mistake number 4 is underestimating cash reserves. Here's the truth. The truth is your cash flow is not pure profit, okay? Because a portion of your cash flow per month needs to be set aside for future big ticket items like painting your building, like roof repair or roof replacement, redoing the parking lot. That money should not come out of your pocket. It should come out of your property's savings account, your reserves account, okay? Now, the question is, how much should I save? I will tell you right now. All right, so if you have a newer building, let's say it was built in 2010 or younger, right? You're gonna save $250 per unit per year, okay? If you have an older building, it's middle-aged building, let's say it's built in the 90s in the 2010s, you're gonna save $350 per unit per year. But let's say you have an older building built in the 80s, built in the 70s, okay, an older building, you're going to save $400 per unit per year. What does that mean? So if you have a 10-unit building, okay, you're going to multiply 400 times 10, that means you're going to set aside $4,000 per year for future expenses, plus rainy days. That happens to all of us, right? You don't want the money to come out of your pocket. You want this money to come out of your cash reserves account. Got it? All right. Let's go to the final one, mistake number 5. Last but not least, here is mistake number 5. And it is so easy to make when you are a beginner, and it can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right, so mistake number 5 is overpaying. Overpaying for the property, paying too much. There are two main reasons why a beginner will pay too much for the property. Reason number 1 is they made an emotional decision. Okay, as you know, when emotions go up, intelligence goes down. Let me give you an example. This happens to me all the time with our students. Peter, I want to pay $800,000 for this property because it's beautiful. The streets are just immaculate. The seller is wonderful. That has nothing to do with how good the property is. That is your emotions causing you to overpay. Or what about this? Peter, I've been looking for a property for years, and now I found the one, and I want to buy it no matter what. That's a bad decision. That's based on emotions. So what's the solution? Solution number 2, and this solution lies in the reason number 2. Number 2, what people will overpay would be because they did not analyze sales comparables. Okay, if you were looking for a single family home to buy yourself, you and your family, you wanted to buy a 3-bedroom, and it's listed for $800,000, okay? And you want to buy it. How would you know if it's a good deal or not? You would look around the neighborhood for other 3-bedroom properties and see how they're priced, right? Same thing here with your apartments. You're going to look for other properties that are similar and see what they sold for within the last year and do your comparison to make sure that you don't overpay. All right, so here's the truth here. How much you pay for your property is not your agent's, your seller's, or your lender's responsibility. It is yours. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to get 3 comparable properties that were recently sold in your neighborhood, okay? And you're going to compare those properties to yours and see how they were priced and make a conclusion if you are paying too much, you're paying right in the middle, or if you're buying under market. You can only do that if you look at this data. Got it? Okay, that's how you stop yourself from overpaying. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Guess what? If you hung out with me this long, you are absolutely my favorite viewer. So thank you so much. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. If you want to get more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe and we'll push them your way. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you at the next video. Would you like to work with me? Every successful commercial real estate investor has a mentor. Learn more about my Protégé program right here.